Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Okay, so I gotta tell you, today was looking like a boring news day. I was just covering little miscellaneous topics. And now, here we go. We've got a full-on crash out at the White House. You know, it felt like things were going pretty peachy. I mean, obviously, there was obstacles and disagreements, but still it felt like we were in a pretty good place in terms of keeping the team together, keeping the family together. And well, today, out of nowhere, things just went nuclear. Yeah, now we're basically the children watching our parents engage in a very, very messy divorce. Look, I gotta admit right off the bat, this is a tough one. The MAGA movement in 2025 has been mostly unified to this point, but I guess the good times can only last so long. Now comes the inevitable drama, the inevitable fallout, as Elon Musk and Donald Trump are now feuding publicly. And well, Elon, he's going absolutely nuclear. Let me update you guys on everything that happened, and then of course, let's talk about it. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. Alright folks, so the Elon Musk and Donald Trump relationship has soured dramatically in recent days, mostly fueled by Elon Musk's criticism of the One Big Beautiful Bill. Elon over the last couple of weeks has been denouncing the bill, and of course I've supported him on that. There's a lot of good in the bill. I think overall the bill is good for America, but it's not perfect, and the GOP's refusal to codify the DOGE cuts, especially relating to foreign aid, well, it's been a point of contention. But it's also not foreign territory, it's pretty typical. You know, the conservative demand is massive cuts, but Washington is a slow-moving machine, and it's hard to really get that full reform overnight. But anyways, the point is that I understand the frustration coming from Elon Musk, but then what truly got at Elon Musk was the slashing of electric vehicle subsidies and mandates.
But I'm very disappointed because Elon knew the inner workings of this bill better than almost anybody sitting here, better than you people. He knew everything about it. He had no problem with it. All of a sudden he had a problem, and he only developed the problem when he found out that we're going to have to cut the EV mandate, because that's billions and billions of dollars, and it really is unfair. We want to have cars of all types. Electric, we want to have electric, but we want to have a gasoline, combustion. We want to have different. We want to have hybrids. We want to have all. We want to be able to sell everything. And when that was cut, and Congress wanted to cut it, it became a little bit different. And I can understand that. But he knew every aspect of this bill. He knew it better than almost anybody. And he never had a problem until right after he left. And if you saw the statements he made about me, which I'm sure you can get very easily, it's very fresh on tape. He said the most beautiful things about me. And he hasn't said bad about me personally, but I'm sure that'll be next. But I'm very disappointed in Elon. I've helped Elon a lot.
Trump is making the claim that Elon Musk is lashing out because the subsidies have been removed. And actually, Elon spoke to this. He said, whatever. Keep the EV/solar incentive cuts in the bill, even though no oil and gas subsidies are touched, which is very unfair, but ditch the mountain of disgusting pork in the bill. In the entire history of legislation, there has never been legislation that is both big and beautiful. Everyone knows this. Either you get a big and ugly bill or a slim and beautiful bill. Slim and beautiful is the way. And on this, you know, you're not going to find disagreement with me. I still think the bill is too damn big. I get the whole vision of the Trump administration. They're trying to do what's pragmatic, what's possible. They have an idea to kind of keep government spending roughly where it is, but then boost GDP per capita, collect dollars for tariffs, and eventually find a point of equilibrium and hopefully slowly start chipping off of the bill. But what Elon wants is overnight total cuts. Just cut it all, line item by line item. I love the notion. I'm not going to disagree with Elon. I love his passion. I don't have an issue with it. I'm not going to call him out for wanting that because I think it's a good thing. But also, at the same time, it's kind of like a what do you expect situation. You know, I just put my hands up in the air. It's all up to Mike Johnson. Is it the perfect bill? No. Is it better than whatever the hell we were getting with Joe Biden? Probably. Definitely. There's tax cuts. There's waste and fraud cuts. Is there some pork in the bill? Yes. But now the question is this little policy disagreement worth going full-on nuclear over? And that's where I'm at a little bit of a crossroads, you know? It's like, again, like being a kid where your parents are in a messy divorce, but you love both of your parents, you know, there's good, there's bad on both sides. You know, how do you take a team? Because clearly that's what's happening here, right? It's Team Elon now versus Team Trump. And personally, I'm not really a huge fan of that because I'm more so focused on the ideas. But now we are beyond the ideas. We're not even discussing policy. We're not even discussing EV and solar incentives or subsidies. We're not discussing the issue of pork-filled bills, which is absolutely an issue. I'm pretty sure this Goliath bill is over 1,100 pages long, and they passed the thing in 2 days. How can you possibly even read 1,100 pages in 2 days? Those are the issues, but instead, it's devolved into drama. And Elon is taking that drama to a whole other level. I mean, I'm laughing, but honestly, maybe it's not something we should be laughing about because, I mean, this is kind of a full-blown implosion. Things were going so well, and now, well, Elon is just going on a rampage. He starts off by saying that without him, Donald Trump would have never even won the election. He's saying there's a lack of gratitude. And a lot of people seem to be boosting this comment, saying that they totally agree. Elon Musk basically got Donald Trump elected and he owes him everything. But personally, I could not disagree more with this idea. And I truthfully believe that Trump would have won in 2024 with or without Elon, at least in terms of campaigning. I mean, you could argue that his acquisition of Twitter played a big role, absolutely. Maybe it was a game changer, but even then, I'm not even willing to go that far. But Elon Musk's personal involvement and donations? I don't think that put Donald Trump over the finish line at all, and I truthfully, honestly believe that. Some people might disagree, but I think Trump had built that grassroots momentum regardless. Celebrity endorsements don't push the needle that much, even if the celebrity endorsement is from Elon Musk. And also you have to understand that Elon is a very polarizing figure, so the logic seems that he probably alienated a whole bunch of people while also bringing other people under the tent. There's a positive impact, a negative impact. Now the question is, which one outweighed the other? Well, that's kind of hard to pinpoint or quantify, and especially hard to extrapolate that exact influence on the result of the election. And then you think about the fact that Trump was leading in the polls big time, well before Elon Musk even endorsed him or joined the team. You know, I'm sorry, Elon, but you're like 10 years late to the party here in terms of the political trend. This is a grassroots movement that started a long time ago, even before 2016. And we had that momentum going into 2024 regardless. And I feel like I was part of that hard work. So now saying that it was all Elon Musk and all the activism and the information warfare that we engaged in over the last however many years played no role, I think that's pretty unfair, especially when the polls were pretty favorable to Donald Trump almost like 18 months ago, probably 24 months ago. But if you listen to Elon Musk, it's all him. It's all thanks to him. And then he released this tweet where he seems to be threatening the GOP, saying Donald Trump's only going to be here for 3.5 years and I'm going to be here for 40. You're going to have to deal with me for 40. I don't know. It's giving off a little bit of a weird God complex vibe. I think there's some truth to what he's saying, but it's a little bit too black and white for me, and it's a little bit dismissive of everybody else. But then, of course, yeah, you probably know exactly where I'm going. Then comes the pinnacle. Elon Musk then posted this: time to drop the really big bomb. At real Donald Trump is in the Epstein files, and that is the real reason that they have not been made public. Have a nice day, Donald J. Trump. Holy frickin' moly. And now here obviously is where things get the most messy. An absolutely explosive allegation that I find honestly a little bit questionable. I mean, yesterday Elon Musk had nothing but good things to say about Donald Trump, but now that there is disagreement policy, Donald Trump is essentially a PEDO? That's the insinuation, right? And Elon Musk the whole time knew this, but he kept it under wraps and is only mentioning it now. And of course, not to mention knowing this, he allowed his son to be in Trump's presence for months on end. It just seems way out of left field. And it's also not necessarily new information. You know, the left has been going on with this forever. Donald Trump on the Epstein flight logs. First of all, if this was such a threat to the Trump administration, don't you think the fact that we already have a good chunk of the Epstein flight logs and Trump's name is directly listed on it, don't you think that that would have already been an issue? There's a clear record showing Donald Trump's name on the Epstein flight log. I'm putting it up here on screen. And some people are learning this for the first time today, but this is actually very old news. We already know that Trump had a relationship at one point with Epstein, but there's actually a clear record showing that the moment Trump found out who Epstein was and some of the stuff that he was trying to engage in at Donald Trump's clubhouse, the moment he found that out, he kicked him out of the club and never associated with him ever again. Is there a story there? A possible connection between Epstein and the president? Maybe. And trust me, if it's proven, I will be the first person to denounce Donald Trump. I will be the first person, frankly, to call for his impeachment. But from my current understanding, this is an unsubstantiated claim. I could be wrong, and that's maybe why Pam Bondi is hiding the whole thing, but I'm not going to take somebody's word for it. You know, we'd have to actually see evidence before we start going all nuclear on that topic. It just seems like it's coming out of nowhere, and all of a sudden, after 4.5 months of working all peachy with the president, now he's like the worst criminal ever. I don't know. I get that Elon Musk is frustrated, but I feel like breaking things and burning everything down to the ground over this little feud, not sure it's worth it. Now, if he has some actual evidence suggesting that Donald Trump committed horrible violations and crimes in connection to Epstein, then of course we're having a different conversation. But I feel like if that existed, don't you think the Democrats would have used it by now? No? To be honest, I'm just flabbergasted and kind of struggling to wrap my head around everything that's going on right now. I just want to stick to the ideas and get less involved in the drama and cult of personality. I get the frustration, I get the issues, I get the concerns, and I agree with a lot of it. I'm just not sure I agree with the approach. Unless, of course, as I mentioned, there's information that I'm not privy to. And well, if there is information like that, then I'd suggest that Elon Musk should get on top of it. I don't know, just kind of a weird position to be in. And it's funny because I feel blindsided. I feel like this came out of nowhere. But now that it happened, it also kind of feels inevitable. Elon Musk and Donald Trump both working together. I guess it was bound to blow up into chaos and drama at some point. But as of right now, I'm sticking to the ideas and saving my harshest of judgments until I have more information and know exactly what the hell is going on. But I gotta tell ya, I was not expecting this when I started my workday today. But hey, it's 2025 and crazier things have happened. Anyways, that's pretty much what I got for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.